Fresh turmeric is truly out of this world. Used for centuries for its healing powers as well as its extraordinary flavor, it's also one of the fantastic ingredients in my surf and turf coconut curry. I'm Chef Michael Williams, and that's what we're cooking on the coast. We're in the kitchen. I've got my surfboard, and we're about to make a surf and turf coconut curry using local sausage, rockfish, and spot prawns. Let's get to it. The first thing I want to do here is get my veggies prepped. I'm going to get them all prepped, ready to go, get my mise en place. I've already got my wet rag under my cutting board, keeping it in place. I've also got a bowl for compost and my knife ready to go. So I've got ginger, onion, and turmeric here. Those are the veggies we're gonna start with. Now, this is my beauty board, right? I love this board. It's my favorite board. This board, a little bit broken, I don't care so much about, so I'm gonna cut the turmeric on there because it tends to leave some stains. So let's get into cutting the turmeric. Just remove any blemishes. And you know, if you want to, you can peel, but there is no need. Just like ginger, you can leave the skin on like so. So what I'm gonna do here is just give this a bit of a segmentation so that I can go like so and like so, setting me up for my final cut. I'm gonna do this both with the turmeric and with the ginger. So I've got these nice little strips. And then with my nice sharp knife, I'm gonna cut it as fine as I can, which is gonna have, you know, a nice subtle identity in the finished dish. It's not chopped too fine, right? It's got little bites that are gonna be present in the final dish, and I love it. That's great. That's a good shot of turmeric there. So I think we'll roll with that, and we'll do the same with our ginger. About a thumb-sized piece, as they say. I think it looks good. So same idea, just gonna trim it up a little bit. Make sure there's no blemish. And then we'll segment, well, it's already segmented. I'm gonna cut a nice flat edge on this so it's nice and stable on my cutting board. Same deal. Okay, line these up. Now, I don't just add ginger and turmeric because they taste good. That's certainly part of it, but there's so many health benefits to incorporating and adding fresh spices and herbs into your cooking. The more you can add, the more benefits you get. There's all different kinds of, you know, processes and vitamins and minerals and wonderful stuff that you get out of this food. It's not just flavor, it's about so much more. So I've got my onion now, and I'm gonna show you a trick for this one. We're gonna cut the top and the bottom off. We're gonna peel like so. And then I'm gonna separate this out into segments like so. And that'll do it for that one. So now, check it out. I'm gonna flatten this, and it gives me control to get a really nice, even julienne on this onion. And that gives us, you know, a little bit of a nicer presentation in our finished dish. Enjoying the process, loving it, right? That's what it's all about. A little bit more onion here, and we're good to go on that, and then we'll get on to our peppers. And then our veggie prep is done. So that little trick there again, you can just separate your onion into layers, like so. Fantastic, there we go. So we got our onions ready, we got our ginger, we got our turmeric. I'm gonna set that aside over here. Let's go ahead and grab our peppers. I happened to come across some beautiful little baby peppers here. Look at these specimens. Aren't they pretty? All we're gonna do for these is cut them in half. Well, I guess I'll cut it in half that way first. There we go. And then into quarters. And you know, normally you wanna take out the seeds and the veins. As you can see, there's no seeds and very little vein in this. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it as is. It's washed really well. Basically just cutting it into quarters here. There's a little pocket of seeds, that's about it. And we want to leave it just like that. We're going to roast this in the pan. It's all going to come together soon. And I think that'll do it right there. Now all we need to do is process our fish. So, as mentioned, we've got some Hertel's beautiful chorizo sausage made right here on Vancouver Island, some rockfish that was captured just off the coast, and some beautiful BC spot prawns. I'm going to start with the rockfish here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the bones out. You can pluck the salmon bones, but not the rockfish. You got to cut them out. And so we're going to just cut. You saw how I felt it. I felt it like that, and I can feel exactly where they are. They stop about there. So then I can just go like so and remove those bones. And then all we're going to do is cut it into nice big chunks. It's going to break up a little bit more as we're cooking it, so there's no need to cut it too fine. So a little bit larger than you want kind of for the finished dish is how we roll. So just on either side of those bones, we remove, and then a couple cuts. Okay, so that's how our rockfish works. And our shrimp, I want to leave, for presentation's sake, the tail on here. So I'm just going to start right down here at that kind of second piece of the shell. I'm going to peel it off all the way around, taking my time so that I don't damage it. It's a very delicate and tender meat. Hot tip, you can save those shells and use them to incorporate into broths at a later date. So that's all there is to it. That's how we're going to finish off this prep. I'm going to get the rest of that rockfish cut up. I've got a few more shrimps to peel, and we'll be back later in the show to pull together our surf and turf coconut curry. But before that, it's time to hit the road. See you after the break.
Cookin' on the Road is brought to you by Cold Star Solutions, an integral part of Vancouver Island's grocery supply chain for 20 years.
Here we are in the Blenkinsop Valley with three of my favorite things: dogs, farmland, and food. Jill, pleasure to meet you.
Hi.
Fatso peanut butter.
Thanks for coming.
I've got to say, your peanut butter is the best peanut butter in the world.
We like to think so.
Yeah, it is incredible. Now, you have to tell me, how does one get into making high-performance peanut butter? Because that's what you guys call yourselves.
Starting a peanut butter company really came from some time I spent in northern Uganda.
Okay.
And they don't have a very wide cuisine out there, but I can tell you that they make some of the best tasting peanut butter I've ever had.
Yeah.
And what I noticed and came to understand about peanuts and peanut butter is that it is the cornerstone of diets throughout the world because it's high in protein, antioxidants, minerals, very easy to grow, highly sustainable, doesn't take a lot of water.
Yeah.
It's not labor intensive, and it's got that classic taste that people are so used to.
And yours isn't just any regular peanut butter. You've got all kinds of extra high-performance fats mixed in.
That's right. So we really wanted to capitalize on the nutritional density of the peanut itself, but then add in some of these really amazing high-performance fats that people are including in their diet. So things like coconut oil, avocado oil, MCT oil. We put in some super seeds, some chia, and flax as well. So I come from a CrossFit background, and we're always looking for nutritionally dense and amazingly tasty fuel for our athletics. So I wanted to develop a product that was going to be great for the high-performance athlete, but was also going to be great for anybody that just sort of wanted to dabble in eating a little bit healthier and experience a product that was going to taste amazing.
Let's get this going. Let's put it together.
So we're gonna start with just some all-natural peanut butters. I like to start with this smooth peanut butter. I'm gonna take our coconut oil. This actually was the original mixer that I used when I first started making Fatso.
Really? Graded well beyond this 6-quart mixer, I imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a time where I had 2 mixers going, and that's when I really thought that I had, big orders coming in.
Right.
So we've got the coconut oil in, and we can add in the avocado oil.
You know, times have really changed if you can be successful calling your product Fatso, right?
Yeah. So we we've had a lot of success with the name Fatso. Of course, it refers to the good fats that we put into our peanut butter.
Absolutely.
We really want to capitalize on those really nice, healthy fats.
Yeah.
But it's also a very sticky name. I mean, whether you love it or hate it, it's going to stop you in your tracks in the aisle, and you're going to investigate the product.
All right, so let's finish this off. I want to taste it.
We'll put this MCT oil in.
You gonna let me taste it?
Of course, this is a craft batch of Fatso. You don't need too many chia seeds, but we'll just put that in there. Here we are, all mixed up. And just scoop that out. Let me get that smeared on for you.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Fresh Fatso.
So good. Thank you so much, Jill. I'm taking this home.
Awesome, thank you.
Back to our kitchen, we're pulling together our surf and turf coconut curry. Everything's ready to go, and now it's just about enjoying the process, loving the whole cooking, just feeling it and watching it and enjoying the smells and everything else. You're not rushing, chopping here and getting something going there. Mise en place, ready to go. So we've got a nice hot pot here. I am gonna add a little bit of oil, and we're gonna start with our sausage. We're gonna get those Hertel's chorizo sausage into the pan. Let them kind of get a head start. We need them to start first before we get our other ingredients in there, especially our fish. Fish is one of those very sensitive, easy to overcook foods. So you wanna be careful, because overcooked fish is dry fish. Dry fish is not good fish. Rockfish, by the way, did you know is one of the oldest lived species of fish, up to 120 years? We probably want to be catching the younger ones, I'm sure, but that's kind of cool, 120 years. So lots of great flavors coming along here. This is not your typical surf and turf, is it? Right? We got sausage, we got local BC spot prawns, the rockfish, lots of veggies, lots of great flavors. Usually, it's steak and shrimp kind of poured on top. That's the classic surf and turf. We're really kicking it up a notch here. What I love about cooking is there is so many different ways you can change up a recipe. We're working with sausage right now, but we could be working with nice little chunks of chicken. We've got rockfish and shrimp. We could be working with salmon and mussels, right? There's so many different combinations and ways to kind of create your own dish. Make it yours. That's when cooking becomes fun and enjoyable. Kind of when you know what's happening and how you can change and manipulate things, right? So let's go ahead and flip our sausage now. I'm gonna grab my board of veggies. So we've got on here our thinly sliced turmeric, our ginger, and our red onions. That is all gonna go right in. So let's just give this a stir and kind of bring things all together. I want to let that heat really pick up and start the browning process on the onions, the ginger, and the turmeric. Want to get them caramelizing nicely. And the next step will be to add our beautiful little baby peppers here. Now, if you don't happen to get your hands on the baby peppers, that's fine. Just use the big ones. Cut them into strips. Browning is underway on our vegetables now. So I'm going to go ahead and add our peppers. Same idea here. We're going to let those guys get a bit of a head start before we add our next component. And our next component, by the way, is going to be this lovely triple smoke spice rub. This is a hickory dill. So the spice rub is actually smoked, which is fantastic. Smoked with hickory wood, which, it gives that salty, sweet smoke. It's just amazing. So that's gonna go in. I'm gonna bump up our coriander. I've got some toasted and ground coriander here. And you know what else I need? A little bit of cayenne pepper. And why not some Vancouver Island sea salt right from our own waters? This dish is hyper local. Let's take a look at our pan here. As you can see, things are roasting nicely. We've got some great color happening on everything. The ginger, the turmeric, the peppers. I think we're ready for that next step. So I'm gonna go ahead and be fairly liberal with our hickory smoke spice rub. Now there is salt in here, So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold off on adding any extra salt until the end. I'll just leave that out for now. I do definitely wanna bump up the spice content. So I've got some cayenne pepper here. So I'm gonna start off fairly light because you don't wanna go overboard on cayenne. It's super potent. And then some of that toasted and ground coriander seed, which I'm gonna be heavy-handed on because I love it. Now that we've got all those spices in there, I just want to give them maybe, 20, 30 seconds in the pan, and we'll go ahead and add our coconut milk. We've had enough time on our spices there, so let's go ahead and just get that coconut milk right in. Being careful so that it doesn't pop out on me. You want to really release that top layer, and then that frees up the liquidy bottom. So what I'm going to do now is move on to my spatula here. I'm just going to make sure nothing is kind of sticking on the bottom. Free up and release all of that goodness. This is deglazing. You don't just need alcohol. Alcohol is not the only way to deglaze. You can use virtually any liquid. And I just did it. I just deglazed. So this is coming to a simmer really quickly, as you can see. Want to give that maybe, with the lid on, we want to give it probably 3, let's say 5, a good 5 minutes head start, and then we'll add in our rockfish. Okay, so it has been nearly 5 minutes. Our sausage is well underway, almost done. So the rockfish is only gonna need a few minutes itself. So that's why we wanna delay putting the rockfish in, otherwise we're gonna overcook it. And you'll notice I'm holding those shrimp back because they only need about a minute themselves. So make sure that the fish, everything is submerged in there. We'll get that lid back on. While we're waiting for that rockfish to kind of do its part, let's just get some herbs chopped up. We'll grab a plate so that we're ready to start plating this up once our dish is finished. So we're capitalizing on the dill. We've got our hickory smoked dill, which is a dried dill in the spice rub, and we're gonna finish it off with some fresh dill as well. Let's take a peek in here. Things are coming along nicely. Now that rockfish was actually, fairly thin, so it's cooking quickly. I'm gonna go ahead and get those spot prawns in, and we'll close that lid on them once more. So in go our spot prawns. What do you think? How's this looking? It smells incredible. You can see the color of that turmeric coming through. We'll get our lid back on. And let's play with our starch. We've got some tricolor quinoa here, and that's going to be the base. You've got lots of options here. It can be the quinoa, it can be the rice, it could be noodles. We're going with the quinoa. So I'm going to place kind of just off center here, like so. I'm going to give this a stir. And that's it, folks. You know what? Just before I plate it up, though, important step. Got to give it a taste. Check the seasoning. It's perfect. So good. So let's go ahead and grab a plate here. And I'm just gonna ladle. Make sure I get some of everything. Some of the sausage, some of the peppers. Grab what nice fillet of rockfish there. Got to tidy up the edge of the plate there. I bumbled it a little bit, folks. You can always tidy it up afterwards with a wet cloth. And now you want to make sure you grab a good serving of that broth, pour it on top. Clean up your edge. Take that off the heat so we don't overcook it. And finish it off with some of the fresh dill. There you go. You'll be a hit on the beach with this surf and turf coconut curry.
Pairings are brought to you by Liquor Plus. Discover the plus.
What makes any dish just that much better is the right beverage pairing. To help us out, we have Megan from See You Later Ranch.
See You Later Ranch.
Right on.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming down.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so I kind of gave you a rundown of what I was going to create for you today. It's like a, coconut-based spicy surf and turf curry, right? A little bit of quinoa, lots of great flavor. Why don't you tell us how you decided to pair this up?
Pinot Gris is something that pairs with almost everything. And it's such a light, bright, palate-cleansing wine.
Yeah.
Lots of acidity, balance. It really will do so nicely with any sort of light, bright flavors, a little bit of curry and spice.
Yeah.
Calm that down, smooth it out.
Okay.
A really great sipping wine all over.
I would love to have a sip right now. Should we have a taste?
Let's do it.
All right.
I'd love to.
So See You Later Ranch is in the Okanagan, am I right?
It is. Okanagan Falls up on Hawthorne Mountain.
Great.
Sorry.
That's okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's have a taste. Wow, that is super smooth.
It's one of my favorites. It
Yeah,
really is.
it's really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna encourage you to have a little taste of the dish here, and then we'll see how this pairing works out, shall we?
Yeah, that's nice.
Turmeric and ginger really pop out.
Mm-hmm.
And just like that, beautiful.
Just like that.
That's fantastic.
Cleans it right out.
Totally, I love it. That's great. So that's your Pinot Gris. You have several other wines here. Tell us a little bit more about See You Later Ranch.
See You Later Ranch has been around since the 1920s. The vines have been there for a really long time.
Wow.
Major Hugh Fraser, when he moved up there and started planting vines.
Yeah.
It's about 2,000 feet above sea level, which lends itself really nicely to growing some of the varietals like Pinot Gris, Pinot Noir that we have here.
Okay.
There's such a rich history, and because it's way up on the mountain overlooking the lakes, it has the most incredible views.
I can
Some of the
imagine.
best in the Okanagan.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's a beautiful spot to be.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I would love to check it out. It sounds incredible.
You should come.
Yeah,
Anytime.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for coming down, Megan. It's been a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Check out our website where you'll find the recipes with all the details from today's show. I'm Michael Williams, and don't forget, dinner's better when we eat together.